One of the questions I get a lot lately is regarding Social Security and regarding Medicare, and for good reason. There's a lot of people that are reliant on Social Security benefits and Medicare just to make it through their everyday lives. Now, here's what I can tell you. Medicare and Social Security will move forward. Could we see cuts? Possibly. Are we going to see cuts? Most likely not. There's a higher chance that we will not see cuts to Social Security or Medicare, and chances are we will see the debt ceiling get increased. That's what discussions are about. Well, here's what I can tell you. We've heard from Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, and he's against cuts. We've heard from the former President Donald Trump. He even said last week that he doesn't want to see a penny, even a penny in cuts to Social Security or Medicare. That people out of Washington and the large groups, they should be the ones that are giving in, not the people that have paid into it all of their lives. And today we heard from Senator Joe Manchin. Now here's what he had to say. Let's go ahead and let's read this together. So Senator Manchin says he'll meet with McCarthy on a pathway forward on the debt ceiling, because that's what Republicans are talking about is, should we make cuts to Social Security in order to satisfy the debt ceiling? They want to hold the debt ceiling hostage. Well, here's what we know. Senator Joe Manchin, that's what he wants. And he talked about that this morning. But he says right here, I know there's so much rhetoric that comes out of that we got. And I think everybody knows we cannot default on our debt. The United States of America, the full faith of the government and the Treasury that we're going to pay our debts. It also says, and I said, Kevin, we're going to sit down when I go back and look at, is there a pathway forward? And chances are there is. But then he also says, so hopefully that we can recognize that we have runaway debt. We recognize we're all responsible. Not just one group. It's not just the Republicans. It's not just the Democrats. Everybody is involved. Everybody that has had a seat in Congress over the past 2 years or even before that is involved in this runaway debt. The president himself, okay, the Biden administration as a whole, right, the Trump administration. Everybody has contributed to this $31.4 trillion in debt, which we actually hit the debt ceiling on Thursday of last week. Now, this is a problem. And I say this is a problem, but the good news is, according to many, we are not going to see cuts. We are not going to see anything as far as Republicans holding the debt ceiling hostage. And the reason for that is because there's not as many that are willing to do that. There are more Republicans that are open to negotiations. And even though the Biden administration says we are not going to negotiate, according to Senator Joe Manchin, he says the Biden administration will negotiate. They're just trying to take their time. Now, somebody even asked Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell if he thinks there's going to be a financial crisis and if he's concerned. Well, he had this to say. No, I would not be concerned about a financial crisis because he doesn't think one's coming. But one thing I can tell you is that Republicans are going to use the debt ceiling vote as a way to cut back on spending. But it's not just Republicans. Even Senator Joe Manchin wants to see cuts. He wants to see a reduction in spending so we do not have to keep dealing with this debt ceiling crisis every year or every handful of years. He wants this to go away. He wants us to pay down our debts. In order to pay down our debts, we have to, for one, increase our revenue and decrease our spending. We can't spend as much as we make every single year or else we never pay off our debts. So, what can I tell you moving forward? Well, Social Security and Medicare will move forward. We could see some changes. We could see some minor adjustments, but I think they will just be that, minor adjustments. Do I think we're going to see the full retirement age go from 67 to 70? I don't. Do I think it's going to go from 67 to 68? It could, but honestly, I don't think it's going to do that either. What most experts are predicting and what most lawmakers are expecting is we are going to see Republicans are going to stand firm. They're going to want some cuts, but they're going to have to get pretty much the promise from the Democrats that we're going to reduce spending elsewhere. We're not going to cut Social Security. We're not going to cut Medicare, but we are going to see cuts somewhere else. So chances are that's going to come from other government spending, not to social spending programs, but things like possibly infrastructure or things like that. That's where we're going to see some spending cuts, possibly to states as well. So again, just understand that we are going to feel the effects. We probably aren't going to see as much spending. We probably won't see as much road construction, but we are going to see something happen in order to kind of shore up, our government, because right now it is a struggle. So as soon as I get more information as to what is going on and what we could see very soon, I promise I will fill you in on all the latest news and updates. Again, thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Consider subscribing. I'll see you guys on the next one.